and welcome to this episode of Crate Conversation. I'm excited to be here today with John Talty. He is in charge of our Brick Township TNR program. And if you don't know what TNR means, it's Trap-Neuter-Release, correct?
Return.
Oh, return. I'm sorry. Return like back to the
their original location.
Yes. And, this is for our feral cat population here in Brick, right?
It is.
Okay,
it is.
So tell us about that. We want to know all about it.
Well, we had many, many years ago, we had started a TNR program. And then in 2021, I was asked to come in and just kind of look things over and see how we can move forward with the program. So at that point, Mayor Ducey let me have a lot of good people to work with.
Good.
We got some people, and then we ended up finding some more people that were interested, who not only were interested, but they were like subject matter experts.
Okay. Which
really helped out. These were people that had previously been caretakers. One lady, I'll name her as Catherine. She's probably one of the very first people that we've ever had in Bricktown that did TNR, and she really does it right. She provides the support needed for the feral cats. She provides them with daily food, shelter, warm shelter in the wintertime, and her colony, which was a pretty big colony, through the years has gotten consistently smaller to the point where today she only has a few cats left.
Okay.
And that's ideally what we're looking for, because truth be said, if we could, we'd like to see every cat have a home.
Of course. Yeah.
Every cat have a lap to lay on and watch TV with their owner with. But when you have feral cats, they just don't have that type of opportunity because they don't possess the personality and the temperament. So when we do find that there's feral cats, it's wonderful that we have caretakers that are willing to spend their money and their time to care for somebody who many times does not care back for them.
Right, right.
Some of the caretakers out there have reported spending hundreds of dollars per month to feed their litter.
Right.
Some of them buy really good food when they can afford it.
Right.
And others, do what they can with what they have. But right now, in our 2024 figures, we are looking at we've TNR'd 250 cats.
Okay.
We had about another existing 200 cats that we kind of inherited into our program when we started it in 2021. And so right now we have 80 registered colonies spread out throughout the township.
Okay.
And there are about 452 cats. We do like a yearly total. So we'll be asking people to send in their latest statistics and self-report their information.
So I just have a question. These cats that are throughout town, these colonies that are throughout town, they're mostly created due to, we're looking at people who maybe don't spay, neuter their cats, and they get out, and then there are litters that are born and not tended to, or?
We could basically look at an example of where one cat gets abandoned. That cat gets pregnant, has 4 or 5 cats. Those cats, in a very short period of time, are able to get pregnant again.
I think 6 months or something like that, they can start to repopulate.
Right. They don't have to be 4 years old. They can repopulate right away. So when you look at it, it has like an exponential effect. Yeah. So by getting in and hearing from the people that say, hey, I had these cats come to my back door and I started feeding them, but now I have more. What can you do? So one of the ladies that we work with, she's a committee member with us. Her name is Doreen Geslin. She also, in addition to being a significant part of Brick TNR, she also operates a nonprofit, because sometimes the cats that need help fall outside the boundaries of where we can help.
Okay.
It might be another town, or it might be a property where the owners don't want to have TNR.
Right.
Like some of the 55 and older communities don't want it, or apartment complexes. But when we have the opportunity Doreen gets in there, and a lot of times she'll go there to do TNR, and she'll say, hey, we're going to get these 4 cats adopted.
Right.
And she has
because
a network.
Not every single cat. Some cats are able to be adopted out, correct?
Yes. Like sometimes we get in there and the babies, the kittens, can be adopted out and become pets.
Good.
And have a house and a lap to lay on. Yeah. And it's a great story. But for the ones that are truly feral, we want to see that they don't reproduce while they're living out their very best life.
So let's pretend I'm living in my house and I see this cat that we presume doesn't have, or I have cats that we presume don't have ownership. They're not wearing a collar. They seem like they need some assistance. What does a person do to contact you to say, hey, I need some help with these cats?
We're going to put a number up at the end of this broadcast and a website as well.
Okay.
And we'll get contacted either through the number or through the website. And then I'll typically that day usually give you a call. And then we'll schedule a meeting between you and our sponsor, who is a lady by the name of Doreen Gesslin.
Okay.
Who'll come out and assess your situation. And if it's going to be a good location for a TNR colony, then we will go out there and we will get the cats TNR'd. And we do that by trapping the cats.
Okay.
We have,
so you have
we have like a box trap.
Yep.
Matter of fact, that was one of the first things we had to do was buy traps.
Invest in traps. Yeah,
you can't be a TNR without traps.
There's that's the T in the TNR.
The T. So we put the card up there in back of the horse, but we ended up saying, we need to get some traps. So early on, we got some drop traps, so you can trap many cats at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And then we got individual traps, which house typically 1 cat, but they can sometimes get 2. And then we had to find a place to get them.
Because they have to be neutered or spayed.
Neutered or spayed.
Right.
So we had difficulty. We put it out, and we had difficulty finding veterinarians that wanted to do it or had the ability to do it.
Right.
Because TNR, dealing with feral cats, it's almost like a specialty. And we were very fortunate. We found a place in Toms River, which is close.
Good.
Called East Coast Spay Neuter. Okay. And they've been our go-to place. And when they can't because they're overbooked or whatever, Doreen has some other people that are also able to do it.
Do the cats get chipped or anything so we know?
Great question. They do get chipped.
Okay, good.
And it's nice because sometimes if a cat passes away and the person who's the caretaker is wondering where's that cat, we have a member of our committee who's also aligned as an animal control officer for the township. His name is Zach. And Zach has a scanner. So Zach can come out, and if an animal's trapped, Zach can scan the animal and say, hey, this belongs to colony 46.
Whatever, yeah.
Or this, if the cat is deceased, he can then make a notification to say, hey, I'm very sorry, but the cat, and they have a number for it, but I'm sure that person probably had a name for it.
Sure.
And we want to let them know that the disposition of the cat.
And the goal then, the ultimate goal is, like you said, is you have these colonies, and by the trap-neuter-return policy that you have, eventually the colonies should shrink, provided people don't dump their cats. So we have to, we're the top of the, you got to, I realize we're waiting at the end of the river for the problem, but we got to go to the source, right? Which is really people abandoning their cats.
The abandoned cats, we would like to see it if people didn't do that.
There are alternatives.
There
right?
are.
So,
and, you have, before the cat becomes feral, it's much more easy to be adopted. Once they become feral, the likelihood of finding a suitable home for a feral cat, there's not a lot of people that want a cat that doesn't want to be.
Unless you got a big farm somewhere and you can just let them go live their life on the farm. The real farm, not like the farm that we pretend that we send.
It's funny you say that because just a few weeks ago, we did have an occasion where we were trying to help out somebody that was going to have their feral cats trapped and taken to the shelter, where presumably their life would be
adopted.
Short.
Yeah.
But one of our members, I'll say her first name. Her name is Fiona. She was sitting in the audience listening to our last TNR meeting, and she got on her network and their computer and her phone, and she found somebody that was looking for 2 feral cats that owned an equestrian center.
Oh, great, for like
That
barn
wanted
cat.
to have them as a barn cat.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had known about this, and we had tried ourselves, but her reach was a little bit
She's
better
a
than
better
ours.
network, right? Yeah.
And she called me up and said, "Hey, I got a home for those 2 cats," and it worked out great
Oh, that's
because
so good.
the lady that was caring for them, that had to relinquish them, she had already TNR'd them.
Right.
So they were spayed, they were chipped,
ready to
they
go.
were ear tipped.
Yep.
They were ready to roll right out into the barn.
Good.
And the lady that took them, she's probably finishing as we speak, finishing up a 6-week socialization process, introducing them to their new environment, because it's not as easy
you don't
as
just
dumping them.
dump them in the barn.
Yeah, you can't
like,
do that.
Yeah,
You
they'll
can't
just
do
run
that.
away.
And the people that work
Yeah.
in this on a daily basis will say, "Yeah, I'm probably going to need 6 weeks
Sure.
to make sure it happens and it's a good fit." But
Great.
yeah,
So people can call you if they have if they think they want, right? And so you said you have meetings once a month, right?
Yeah, about once a month. Usually it turns out to be like 10 times a year we have meetings.
And
we post that on the township website.
People can come to that just to learn more about the program?
They absolutely can. If they have any questions, I think what they're learning is that it's a very decent program. We have good people that really understand what caretakers need and what they want, so that their questions are usually easily asked, because, like I said, many of the people that we have on our committee, they're like subject matter experts. Sure. We have Officer Scott Smith. He's a humane law enforcement officer for the police department, and he is like a technical person. He really understands the laws and stuff like that, so that when people come in and say, "Hey, we would like to do this," he says, "You can or you can't," based on, and he's like he's a really good resource for us to have. So, like I said, we got counseling. Perry Albanese is on the committee.
Perry's on there, love it. Yeah.
The business administrator, she is our scribe as a volunteer. And I'll say thank you, Mayor, because I understand at some of our recent Summerfest events, you helped out selling our 50/50s.
Love selling 50/50s.
And this year,
it's a great cause.
Our TNR brought in $5,000 from donations of the 50/50 at the Summerfest. And basically that was you, that was Perry Albanese, and that was Joanne Bergen. So we really appreciate that.
Happy to do it. We're all happy to do it.
Well, you know what? It costs money. This stuff doesn't come for free. And we accept donations. If the people want to send in money to the Township of Brick and earmark it for Bricktown TNR, we would be happy to spend that money. And when we spend your money, that's all we're buying. Traps, we're getting them TNR'd. We don't buy T-shirts. We don't go on extravagant junkets.
This is you actually
we don't
really
go out for luncheons.
This is, and here's the thing. I know there are mixed feelings sometimes if people are not aware of what the program really is, because nobody wants stray cats in their yard and it's a problem. But I really can see and feel like you are a well-oiled machine, and these cats are going to be in the community no matter what. And the fact that we have such a great organization volunteering their time to take care of these cats and make sure that we can start maybe weeding down the population and keeping them safe is super important. So
yeah, and I think the other choice we have is to do nothing.
Exactly.
So I think by doing this, we know there's 450 cats that aren't having litters, that aren't having and procreating.
You know where they are.
You know where they're
all
at.
Of it. Yep.
They're getting fed daily. They're housed.
I have a question.
Sure.
So the TNR program too, are they, when they go in to get neutered or spayed, do they also get like all their shots and stuff?
They do. They get a rabies vaccine. They get another vaccine I apologize I don't know about. They also get a treatment.
Distemper maybe?
Distemper. They also get, thank you.
I used to work at a vet. I used to work for a veterinarian, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then they also, through the nonprofit side of our TNR, they also get a treatment for the bugs.
Like fleas and ticks and all that
Fleas and ticks.
Yeah.
So they get that as an extra. So by the time they get back to where they were trapped into their colony, they're as good as they've ever been in their life.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, so good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, this is some great information.
Well, we're happy to be a part of the community. I'm very blessed that there's so many great people that threw their hand in and said, I'll give you a hand. because it makes my job just that much easier.
Yeah.
You know, I have a meeting and a lot of other people do a lot of other work all month long. And that's the success. You know, I think anytime you get people that are motivated to help others, in particular cats, you know, we just had a food donation.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so successful. We ended up making 2 ladies. Should I say their names? They get embarrassed. But I'll just say their first names, Kathy and Cheryl. These are 2 ladies that came to the meetings all the time. They said, what about food for the people that have to feed these things? Last meeting we gave out between, I'm going to say it was between 800 and 1,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
That were collected between
Right here?
a joint
Yeah.
effort. The town collected, they collected, they got a can over at Petco.
Oh,
that
fantastic.
People are allowed to dump stuff in. So, and it's going to continue. Greenbrier too, they put up a thing all
good for
year round in the
them.
clubhouse
Love
for people
it.
to donate food. So it's
So
just
generous.
a big community effort. And you know what? I'm happy to be on it, and I'm happy that so many good people are sharing with me on this venture.
Well, we're very happy to continue to support you, and thank you and kudos to the entire team for all the hard work. If you want to go to a meeting, you have questions, you have cats that you don't know what to do with, this is the group to come to. We'll post up when the next meeting is, and I'm so grateful that you came talk to us about this today.
Well, thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure for me.
Great. We'll
Thank you.
see you on the next great conversation. That was great. Now we're